Welcome, ladies and germs. We are here to grace you with more of our words of wisdom. I hope you didn't miss us too terribly, but we are back, and we are your hosts. I'm Tracy Assy.
I'm Janet.
I am Kaylee.
And in the corner, we have Ursula.
Hey, yo.
Hi, girl.
If you don't know Ursula has her own Facebook page.
Ursula is a whore.
Can we say that? Ursula is a whore.
At this point, I'm pretty sure we can say anything.
Anything.
Okay, follow
This is
Ursula
America.
on Facebook. Ursula is a whore. And on that note, we want to take a moment to maybe apologize, maybe not apologize for all of the swears in the last episode.
We were scary and sweary last time.
Yes, we were.
Thanks for letting us do that to you.
I mean, it was fun.
And sorry.
Yeah, we're also
I think we should
apologetic.
just embrace it.
So we have what's the word I'm
We
looking?
have implemented a swear jar for Tress. I mean, for all of us.
But mostly for me.
Yeah.
It's fine. I brought $20 in quarters.
So we should be good. So if you hear the little ting, 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 ting in the background, that's Tracy paying for the podcast.
That's what's up.
Yep.
All right, gather round, minions, pull up a chair, and lean in close. I always have a lot to say. But before we get started, I wanted to remind you that this is a tea party after all, and we like our tea piping hot or frosty cold, and mostly of the adult variety.
Of the adult variety, yes, please.
What is
Yes.
everybody drinking today, Janet?
I'm drinking a little claw for that ass. Do I have to put in a swear jar now? Because I said ass.
Listen, we're going to just wait till we actually start the pod
Oh,
before
okay.
Yeah, before we get
It
crazy.
doesn't count until we start.
No.
Cowie? What you got?
I am drinking raspberry twisted tea.
Of course,
you
always
know.
with the twisted tea.
I love the twisted teas.
I guess it's a tea party. So
It
it's
is.
fine.
Come on
It's a tea
now.
party.
I'll allow it.
I'm drinking my usual Bud Light.
Gayest beer ever.
I like to feel that we all do our best to volunteer and be involved in whatever capacity we can manage. So here's my shout out to my favorite rescue, Oh My Dog Rescue. Myself and my husband foster for these wonderful ladies, and it really is the best decision we have ever made. If you're looking to adopt a sweet little bundle of your own, head on over to ohmydogrescue.org and check out all the sweet pups we have available. There are also ways to donate or become a foster through that same website. You can also follow them on Facebook. They have an Instagram and a TikTok.
There's a TikTok, yes.
That's just crazy to me. If you're in the listening mood, the ladies have recently started their own podcast. I think they're absolutely hilarious, so go and give them a listen wherever you like to listen to your podcast. I just love their podcast. I just listened to it yesterday.
I think it's so cute. And it's PAWD
Podcast.
It's cute.
It is. It's adorbs. Okay, Saster.
Mhm.
So I have a few questions for you.
You're going to talk to me?
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you. I'm looking at you, kid.
All right. Let's
You
hear
ready for this?
it. No.
If you could be any age for the rest of your life, what age would you be and why?
Oh my God, that's so hard. Is this a trick question? Like,
No.
am I supposed to say an age and you already know it?
This is
Okay.
just for shits and giggles, purely for entertainment purposes.
Well, I have two ages I would be.
Okay.
Probably like 10,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because that was like the greatest time of my life.
Yeah. We had a great
Literally. And or 37, because let me tell you, I've been 37 now for 4 years, and
Yep.
I'm really enjoying it.
time. I'm also 37. So
So if that tells you
that's
anything.
great. Love that.
Yep, I'll be that forever.
Okay. What is your favorite animal of all time?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Why with the hard
I mean,
questions?
they're just
You know what I really love?
what?
I really love polar bears.
Aren't
Oh
they
my God,
adorbs?
they're the
They're
cutest.
They are
cutest.
They will murder you.
Yeah,
where you
and their
stand.
skin is black, but their hair is white.
Mhm.
So they're like, you didn't see that coming.
Nope.
And
Yeah,
their
no.
paws are awesome. And do you remember Klondike and Snow when we were
Yes.
kids? So Dad lived in Colorado, and the zoo had baby polar bears.
And they were very unique because twin baby polar bears are very rare in captivity.
And they were so cute. And remember,
They
they
were.
used to swim in front of their little enclosure. And they would swim and put their paws on the glass,
And
and we
then-
would put our hands
Yep.
up to
and
it.
we have pictures of that somewhere. Polar bears are badass.
They are.
They are.
They're fucking badass.
Fucking badass. Okay, so if you could be any fictional character, who would it be and why?
I would be Eric Cartman.
Yes.
Would you
Why? Because I can do whatever the fuck I
I
want.
was gonna say, would you
That's
be
why.
trying the Ozempic? Have you seen that?
I haven't watched
Oh
that
God,
one
Oh
it's
my
yet.
so
god, it's so
good.
good.
I love South Park. Like, that's probably one of my top
Yep.
2 shows ever.
That's
And,
top tier shit.
Yeah.
Eric Cartman's a good one. What color do you think would taste the best?
Blue.
Why
or
blue?
red. Oh, wait. Red.
No, red has a weird no.
No, it's always blue or red.
Yeah. It's never, let me tell you, it's never orange. Orange is sick.
That's
Why
my-
does it even exist?
That would be the color that John picked.
Orange?
Yeah, he would
Orange?
definitely
And
pick
you know
orange.
what? Brandon would too. Or purple.
Yeah.
Ew.
But grape. I like grape.
Sometimes, but sometimes no. And also, never yellow if it's banana.
Listen, but that's the trick. Is it you don't know, is it lemon or is it banana?
And I
No.
don't like green apple, so no green.
Oh, I love green apple.
But if it's lime, then we can kick
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So, blue or red for sure.
Unless it's frosting. I do not like red frosting. Red candy always tastes good, but I don't like frosting that's red.
Well, that's
That's
why
gross.
it's always blue or red, whatever you got. I don't care what it is.
Yeah,
Blue or red. That's fair.
Yeah.
How long do you think you would last in a zombie apocalypse?
This is what I want to know. How long do you think I would last in a zombie apocalypse? And then I will tell you what I think.
I think you could be endgame.
Really?
I do.
See, the only reason I don't think I can be endgame is because there's no air conditioning and there's no french fries.
When you have to scrounge for food.
So
You have
what
to
the
eat, like-
fuck? If we're talking gonna kill some fucking zombies, I'm probably legit in that.
Right.
Like, and I can probably take out some other people.
Right.
I'm not scared of that. It's the
I'm scared of the
surviving.
comforts of my of my home.
It's like
so-
the bug bites and the
Oh,
not.
yeah, no,
Oh,
fuck that.
God.
We'd be
What?
stocking up on that fucking bug spray.
Yeah.
We'd raid all the bug spray and sunscreen.
There's no internet. What?
Oh, yeah. No, I done told John I could not survive without my internet. And,
No,
and
it's
then I
bad.
referred to the South Park episode.
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
it's California way.
I just watched that one the other day.
I love that one. That's a
Oh
good
my
one.
god. But yeah, I think I could make it kind of far, especially the double tapping some zombies' asses and
Double tap
all
to the
that
head.
crap.
Don't forget.
And wear a seatbelt.
Always wear your seatbelt.
Wear your seatbelt.
So I say all this to say all these goofy questions and all this nonsense is because we have a very special episode.
This is gonna be so lit, you guys.
It's gonna be
It's
crazy.
very, very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to say it because it's in my script, so I'm going to pay my first swear. Fuck clowns.
Fuck them. Fuck them right in the ear.
Should have put 4 in there, but you know.
Okay, so do you love them or hate them? Any opinions?
I love clowns.
I don't. Love is a strong word.
I like them.
You
I
like-
love them. I like them. I love them.
them. I like it.
I love it.
Remember in the 80s when everything was clowns? So I was just talking to my best friend, Paulina, and she was telling
Shout
me.
out to Yina.
Shout out to my bestie Yina.
Shout out, Yina.
Girl. She was saying how when she was a girl, when she was a kid, she had clown bedroom. Like it was just
Yeah, it was like
clowns all
completely
over.
acceptable.
Like curtains and yeah, and it was acceptable.
it was a
And then me and her were starting to talk about it. And she's like, "This is probably why they terrify me because she's
Probably.
scared of them."
Oh,
Yeah,
she is
Yeah,
now?
she
Okay.
doesn't like them.
All right.
So I'm like, "Wow, that's probably has something to do with it." But why are you afraid of them?
Okay, well, we're going to get into that a little
Yeah.
bit. So I personally can't stand clowns. I can watch them on TV, but in real life, no freaking way. And I'm not really exactly sure where the fear came from either because, like, when we were little, me and my sister used to watch Bozo the Clown.
I loved Bozo the Clown.
And Bozo was my shit, okay? And, you know, we're just regular 90s kids watching Bozo, hanging out. Like, I love the ping pong, you know, with the buckets on the ground and the kids.
Yeah, the
they-
grand prize game.
Yeah, right. But I love me some Bozo. We watched it, like, every day or every time it aired. I can't remember if it aired every day or if it was, like,
I think it
once
was
a
on
week.
every morning.
I think it was on every
And it was
morning.
reruns, I'm pretty sure, because those.
But we watched the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So honestly, I really think my fear came from none other than The Simpsons. Okay. Laugh if you must, but Krusty the Clown had a sidekick named Sideshow Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And sometimes he would dress up too, like a clown. There was an episode where Sideshow Bob relentlessly hunts Bart, trying to kill him. Now, I was like 6 or 7 at this time. It would become a running thing in The Simpsons that Sideshow Bob would hunt Bart. But at the time, like, when this one first aired, it was, like, the first time we had seen him relentlessly hunt Bart. And it terrified me. Like,
Yeah.
I was absolutely terrified. I remember waking up from a nightmare where I was Bart. My sister had a daybed. And I used to sleep underneath of it. And so we had stuffies lined all across the bottom
Yeah.
of this daybed. And when I woke up from my nightmare, all of the stuffies were covered in blood.
You were screaming.
I was. And so, like, they weren't really covered in blood, but I had just been abruptly awoken from a nightmare at like 6, 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw blood everywhere. And it freaked me out. So I think that's where my hate for clowns really did begin.
I totally remember that like it was yesterday. And I made so much fun
You
of
did.
you. I was not
But that
nice.
shit scarred me for life. So I even punched a clown in the face once at a haunted house.
Real.
I did. He was standing right behind me, like got up in my face. Me and my sister were trying to like get through. And I turned around and he was like right over my shoulder. And I turned and I just blasted him right in the face. So before you go into this haunted house, there was signs up all over the place that it said
Please
like,
do not touch the monsters.
Yeah.
don't touch the monsters. So after I punched him in the face, I start like freaking out, being like,
She's
oh my
like
God,
apologizing immediately. She's
I
like, "Oh my
touched the monster. And it's like, you didn't just touch him.
God,
You
you
punched
fucking
him.
laid him out, dude."
Nailed
I
him.
said, fuck.
Oh, goodness. But a lot of people have this fear, so it got me thinking why, how, I want to know more. So we're going on a trip here today. We will learn some history and dive into some possible reasons as to why clowns give so many people the ick.
Oh my god, they do give people the ick.
They do.
Sometimes I'm like, clowns are
I think I like
kind of nerdy.
because they're like,
Right?
they're just scary.
I don't know. I fucking hate clowns.
This swear dart's gonna straighten us out.
For real.
I brought $20 with me today.
You're gonna use it all.
So the history of clowns, where did they come from? Would you believe me if I said ancient Egypt?
What?
Okay.
The term clown did not exist until around the 16th century. Obviously, they didn't have the term clown in Egyptian times. Clowns also throughout history haven't always worn makeup or big shoes and a red nose. Those things aren't what made clowns clowns. The one thing that does is the need to make others feel good and laugh. That is the true definition of clown. The first recorded findings of clowns were around the 5th dynasty of ancient Egypt Empire. Ancient Egypt, roughly 5,000 years ago, used to keep African pygmies, known as dangas, in the royal courts to amuse the pharaohs and royal families. They dressed in leopard skins and strange masks and danced and imitated Egyptian gods such as Bes. Like, Bes was the god of dance and battle. The Egyptians had a complex view of humor that we definitely see in our own society. They enjoyed impressionist comedy like we do. And it was thought that clowns also served as a socio-religious role, as the priests often played the clown role as well, which you do see in today's times. The Egyptians clearly understood that clowns had an important role in society, that they were to be respected, as they bring good health to those who watch them perform.
So were these like slaves that they made perform for them and be clowns?
You see this throughout, like, all of these things that I'm going to talk about.
So it's
they
like
were
jester-like.
basically, but they were very well respected and they were paid well, and they were like basically like court jesters, which we're going to talk about. They were really well taken care of. They weren't just like some bum on the street that, all the royal courts and stuff were bringing in and like throwing
Perform
tomatoes
for
at
us.
Yeah, no, they were a very important part of society and of these courts.
I'm surprised to hear that
I am too.
Yeah.
it goes back that far.
I know. I was
That's
like,
a real long time.
I was like,
It makes sense though, because it's like it wasn't. It's just like everything; it evolves over time. So it was comedy.
2923 BC, ancient Greece and Rome.
Woo, my lord!
Ancient Greece had, this is a good one. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Ancient Greece had clown-like characters that wore short tunics, which were padded in the front and rear and were accompanied by an exaggerated phallus
Of
strapped
course.
around
Of
the
course.
loins.
What is it with men?
It's
No
yes.
idea.
What the fuck is
It was hilarious to them, which, I mean, hey, it'd be
I
hilarious
expect
today.
nothing
But
less
they're-
from
we're
Rome.
in ancient Greece and Rome. They're all drinking their wine. They're like, look at that guy. He's got a huge wiener.
Look at their statues. Like
whatever.
Wiener isn't a swear.
It's not
No,
a
it's
swear.
We
not
can
a
say
swear.
wiener.
I
if
can
we
say
want.
wiener all I want. Greek clowns would act out the great myths and stories of the time. So ancient Rome had 4 types of clowns. We're going to talk about them. Hold on, I got to take a tea break real quick.
tea break.
Okay. Sanio, not sure exactly how to say it. They were a popular type of mime and famous for their ability to pull hilarious grimaces with their face and body. It follows that this clown, unlike most others of this time, did not wear a mask. The stupidest. Hence the word.
Stupidest.
Mhm. Hence the word stupid, which was Latin for mimic fool. The stupidest was usually bald-headed or wore a long pointed hat and multicolored outfit. This type of clown was famed for using innuendo and riddles and the ability to rain down blows on his fellow performers in burlesque-style
Oh
fights.
my god.
In typical slapstick fashion. In true clown style, he used scandals of the day and his materials, and nothing was too sacred for them. Like, they hit on everything.
Say what you want, but the Greeks and Romans, they
They
really
knew how to
how to
have-
do it.
They knew
Yeah,
how to
they did.
party.
They knew how to have a really good time.
Oh yeah.
The Skura clown. This was a lower class of clown, much like the hobo clown that we see today. This is also where we get the word scurrilous from. Usually a person with a physical abnormality or mental illness, the Skura clown indulged in jesting, his physical oddities setting him apart from the better class colleagues, so like the stupidest.
The stupidest.
Stupidest.
Let me use my deformity as a.
Well, I mean,
Weapon.
if you got it.
You got it.
Using his odd traits to win laughs from others, truly humble people with thick skin.
But what does scurrilous mean? Am I dumb for not knowing what the hell
because
that
I
is?
never actually looked it up and I was going to. Hold on. Making or spreading scandalous claims about someone with the intention of damaging their reputation.
Girl, I'm gonna use scurrilous.
Oh my God, it's
is
like that.
Right? How you say it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like that guy, the one who harassed Britney Spears for so many years.
Oh my gosh, and he's like
Old, embarrassing.
Oh,
Perez Hilton.
Perez Hilton. What
That's
about
him.
He's a scurrilous motherfucker.
He's a scurrilous. Come for me, Perez. Come for me.
Oh, God. Okay, so then we have the Morianis. Yes, this is where we get the word moron from.
I do like that word.
The Morianis were not necessarily mentally challenged, although they definitely were able to play it off. It was common for the great houses and the courts to keep freaks and fools, and who, as a whole, they were treated kindly. It was thought by many that they were endowed with special powers from the gods, and they were treated as good luck charms. During the festival of Saturnalia, which marked the shortest day in the rebirth of life, a lowly slave would be chosen to take the place of the master of the household for the duration of the festival, and he would rule over the household. This is the original of the Lord of Misrule tradition in medieval Christmastide. Okay, so this next one, I love this guy, okay? Ancient China, 1046 to 256 BC.
oh Lord.
The imperial court kept clowns during the Zhou dynasty. One famous clown is still noted today, whose name was Yuzhi. He served as a clown to, I'm not going to say this dude's name, but he's the one that built
Can
the Great
I
Wall of...
say it?
Yes.
Chen Shi Hung Ti.
Or Huang, I couldn't tell.
Hong Ti.
Yes. The dude who built the Great Wall of China, basically. So the Great Wall was an expensive project, not only financially, but in human lives as well. That's why citizens and members of the court were dismayed to learn the emperor decided his pretty new wall needed a coat of whitewash, a process that would never be finished and would cost thousands of lives. According to the legend, the clown showed his displeasure by painting on the Great Wall of a penis. He painted a penis on the side.
Randy
What
Marsh
an
that
idol.
fucker.
He did.
Oh God.
He did.
He did. He totally did. He was whipped for making, for his act of self-expression, and when the emperor threatened to further his punishment by making him whitewash the wall himself, Yuzhi explained that he was the wrong clown for the job because he was colorblind. Dude, I died.
What?
I died. I was like, this
That
guy.
took me by surprise, I must
Yeah.
say.
You gotta
That
think
was a
this
good
is
one.
like 1046 BC, and he's like, I can't do it, I'm colorblind, even though I just drew a great big wiener on the side of your great wall. Hilarious.
Oh, man. Icon.
Love him.
So, we got 1012 AD Malaya, or Malaysia as we know it today. And they were the first civilization to make big, funny masks and perform.
They were the first?
Yes.
That's
Of,
kind of
like the big masks. There are some others up here that they
like
didn't-
the crazy noses.
Yeah.
and all that.
Mhm.
Okay. I've seen them. They're really creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super
they are.
creepy. Now we're going to get into court jesters. And so the thing with court jesters and clowns of today don't like to be associated with jesters at all because they say that they're not jesters. But clowns today...
Snobby ass clowns
Right,
talking
for real.
about.
But I mean, if you look at it like
Bet
clowns...
you're not a real clown. You're a fucking jester.
She said, pay the piper. But if you look at it, so like the clowns of today, they are like court jesters. It's just that when we go back and we do the history of clowns evolved from jesters and whatnot.
Gotta
So
pay your respects to your roots.
yeah, but clowns are crazy these days. I'll let you know all the
We're
stuff
gonna get
that they
into
do.
All the
that.
tea. I love clowns.
So court jesters lifted the mood at court with entertainment. This included magic tricks, acrobatics, storytelling, songs, and telling jokes. How often they performed depended on the mood of the royals. They sometimes used their performance to share news, even bad news, with the king. Some jesters even had considerable influence over the king. Henry Tudor.
Henry VIII,
Mhm.
my favorite king.
Yep. He had one specifically that he was very fond of and very close to.
Yes.
Some jesters wore colorful costumes, including the famous three-pointed hat that became known as the Fool's Hat. Their pay depended on how successful they were. If they made the king happy, then they would have been paid a good amount. They also had their own living quarters. This meant that the role had a safe place of permanent residency and financial security that the jesters outside of court did not typically experience. Court jesters could use privileges to help family members, and they often did. There was a dangerous side to being a court jester, obviously. There was always a chance that the king could be offended by a joke. James VI of Scotland fired a jester for insulting too many influential people, which was his job. That's what
he
did.
did.
Right?
Having to deliver bad messages in their performances also came with risks. Jesters often faced the fury of the king after delivering bad news. I said that like a newscaster, didn't I?
I just think it's so funny that they're like, we're going to deliver this really terrible news to you, but we're going to make it a circus
But
kind of
we're
feel.
going to sing and dance.
We're going to dance.
Mm-hmm.
We might insult you first. Like,
It's okay, honey.
It's no
just
big
deal
deal.
with it.
That's
It's
what
fine.
they did.
This is my job.
So their important role also meant that they were often required to travel with the court to battles so they could boost morale. However, this often meant that they were expected to line up with the army opposite the enemy. And they would be expected to entertain, usually by mocking the other side, risking
What?
attack.
Wait a minute.
Mhm.
During, like, wars?
Yep.
okay.
Like in the line, they were there just...
Sounds like something I would have done in a past life.
I had no idea.
Yep.
That's
And they were often expected to take messages to the enemy camp.
I hope
What
they
do
did
just be
somersaults.
doing cartwheels over
Right,
there
that's
with
what I
this?
was thinking. I hope they were doing a whole dance routine on their way over there.
I want to do it. I want to see the mime going, and he's got like a paper in his
Right,
hand.
he's
It's
like-
and he hands it to the other king, and it's like, bro, you're about to get fucked up.
Sorry.
So the tradition of court jesters in medieval England ended with the reign of King Charles II. After the restoration of the monarchy, he succeeded to the English throne and did not reinstate the rule. However, the king did greatly support the theater and arts. 1500 to 1700 Italy. During this period, the spirit of improvisation reached new heights in Italy, in the form of street theater known as Commedia dell'arte, or the comedy of professional actors. I think I pronounced that flawlessly.
You did.
That was the most beautiful pronunciation I've ever heard in my life.
This form of Italian theater thrived and gave birth to a roster of comedic characters, which also may still be seen today. This includes the Harlequin with his popular patchwork costume and black half mask, and the Periot, one of the first clowns to use white face makeup. So in 1768 here we have the development of the circus. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just really passionate about this.
Oh my god. The origin of the modern circus has been attributed to Philip Astley. He was the first to create a space where all of these acts were brought together to perform a show. Astley rode in a circle rather than a straight line, as his rivals did, and thus changed the format of performing in a circle.
Yeah, so we can like gather around and have some seats up and be like,
Heck yeah.
get some peanuts.
Gather around.
Yeah. Come on, come on.
Yes, that's right.
For real.
Astley referred to the performance arena and the building as an amphitheater. These would later be known as a circus. In 1770, Astley hired acrobats, tightrope walkers, jugglers, and a clown to fill the space between acts. At first, it was just basically tricks with the horses. But, like, as we know, the circus now barely has any trick.
There's like no fucking horses in that.
Right.
No.
But there's a lot... But it originally was made just for the trick horse riding, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know. Is hell a swear?
No, it's
Oh,
not.
hell isn't a swear.
Technically, it's not.
It's a place.
This is America.
This is America.
It's a destination.
You got to be able to say something.
So the circus comes to America. The Englishman John Bill Ricketts brought the first modern circus to the United States. The first circus building in the U.S. opened on the 3rd of April of 1793 in Philadelphia, where Ricketts gave America's first complete circus performance, and George Washington attended a performance later that season.
Oh, what?
Which I was like, I had to look this stuff up because, like, how?
And he was probably old as hell.
Mhm.
Yeah, but he was. You know, when you're looking stuff up, oh, I like this, I like the history of this, I like the history of that, and then you look at, like, who was really alive at that time, it's kind of weird. You're like, no way.
Well, because you ever look at years in a history book, like I'm looking at 1793
Mhm.
now, is when George Washington watched him perform his circus.
Mhm.
So 1776 is when America became a country.
Yeah,
or
but my
we gained
brain-
our independence.
My brain doesn't work that way, so I was like, nuh-uh. George Washington was not even alive at that time.
Oh,
No.
absolutely.
No, bro, he was.
girlfriend.
He was there, and he seen it.
No, my brain is very
Yeah, it
like
is.
my father's. Well, maybe not in other ways.
Maybe not in other ways. Oh, shit.
But history, I'm like, Dad probably thinks. Dad just knows that shit.
Bodhi's like that,
'Cause-
too, though.
Years of abuse from Grandpa freaking out if I didn't know every date of everything.
Listen,
There
he
was
just
a
wanted you to
time-
do your best.
There was a time where I could, like, cite the entire Gettysburg Address.
And you're gonna didn't you need to do that in school?
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth something. I can't remember
A
it.
new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created
created equally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants
And
us to know that.
the
And it's
pride on his face. Every time I would just bust out with it, he'd be like,
Yep.
He'd just be beaming.
I'm like, oh my God, Grandpa.
That's my
Love him.
grandchild. Okay, so we're going to talk about some circus clowns here.
Whoop, whoop.
The best clown.
Yes.
So the earliest of the true circus clowns was Joseph Grimaldi, who first appeared in England in 1805. I'm sure you've heard of Grimaldi, and if you haven't, well then, do your
And
research.
you live under a rock.
You do. Grimaldi's clown, affectionately called Joey, which, by the way, side note, all clowns are referred to as Joeys. Not all, but like his format of clown. So, like, in whatever we had, like the Sanyo and the
Like
whatever.
what you think of when you think of a clown is a Joey.
So they're still referred to that to this day. Specialized in classic physical tricks, tumbling, pratfalls, and slapstick beatings. He reportedly was the first clown to wear white face makeup and paint on large smiling red lips. Creepy ass red lips.
Love it.
His ass, I swear. I'm gonna
No,
pay it.
do it. You've been saying a lot less fucks than me.
Oh, Lord
Yeah.
have mercy. He also wore colorful, outrageous clothing. Grimaldi's popularity is so great that remembrances in his honor are held every year at a London church. He's still the daddy of the circus clowns.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So in the 1860s, a low comedy buffoon appeared under the name of Augusta, who had a big nose, baggy clothes, large shoes, and untidy manners. He worked with a white-faced clown and always spoiled the latter's trick by appearing at an inappropriate time to foul things up. That creepy clown shit where they just be like, one's on stage performing and then all of a sudden somebody comes up the back and then they're like messing up their stuff. Ugh,
Right.
God, I hate clowns so much. No, thank you. So known as no.
I'm going to have to decline.
I'm going to have to say no thanks. Known as the King of Clowns, which we assume was meant as a compliment, the Swiss acrobat Charles Arden Wettich began performing as a clown in 1903. That year, he took the name Grok.
Love it.
Hate it.
Grok.
Unhappy with the circus setting, he began performing in music halls. This inaugurated a new chapter in clowning. As more performers began to appear in vaudeville and other clown shows, a gifted musician, Grok often incorporated instruments into his acts.
What do you mean?
So he just used instruments. He played
Like
a
trumpets and...
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a very
That's fun.
musical
very-
man.
He was a
pleasant.
musical
That's
man. Cute.
It's adorbs.
That's not scary at
That's
all.
not fucking adorbs at all.
She said it. I got her to
Hate
say
it.
She said it.
Okay, so let's get away from the creepy ass clown stuff and dive into some famous clowns. Circus clowns are the worst clowns of all, in my opinion.
No,
Circus
I love
clowns
them.
are the worst clowns
They're
to
the
you.
scariest. I would much rather they be up front with their craziness.
You know what clowns are the scariest to me?
What?
Little birthday party clowns.
Yeah.
But that's that's what I think of like a circus clown because the way
if they're out there and they're all like in their little clown car and there's like a million of them, they're just hanging out.
and they got like 10
I'm like, yeah, let's have a beer,
Mhm.
bro. Let's hang
I
out.
don't know about all that.
The ones that go to like little birthday parties and there's only one,
Mm-hmm. Strange.
bro.
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
Yep. I think my love for clowns in the most messed
You
up
weirdo.
way. American Horror Story, Twisty the Clown.
We'll get into it. Ursula, you good over there?
Just popping my pussy over here.
That needs like several
Warning!
pages to the swear jar.
Warning!
Hey,
You
the
can't
say
swear
pussy
jar.
on
the fucking... You can't say pussy on here.
Right?
Pussy on the cast.
On the pod.
Edit that out.
Edit that out.
No, keep it in.
We'll see.
We'll see. So, away from the creepy ass clowns, we're going to talk about some individual clowns. So, Charlie Chaplin.
Yes.
Sir
Mhm.
Charles Spencer Chaplin, KBE, he was knighted.
Oh.
That's why he is
I
Sir
didn't know that.
Charles. Yep. And that's why the KBE is after. Was an English comic actor, filmmaker, and composer who rose to fame in the era of silent film. He became a worldwide icon through his screen persona, The Tramp, and is considered one of the film industry's most important figures.
Yes.
real.
Yep. So then we have Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle. Arbuckle, known to movie audiences as Fatty, was the Chris Farley of silent cinema.
Love.
Beloved for his pratfalls and for his skills at throwing custard pies in people's faces. By September 1921, he had appeared in more than 150 films.
Wow.
Yeah, often his trademark outfit of a baggy pants, suspenders, and an undersized bowler hat. So he was earning $1 million a year at Paramount in
Wow.
1921.
Wow. Are you kidding?
Yep. So-
Jesus.
His friend Fred Fishbach planned a big party to celebrate a 3-day Labor Day bash at St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. By the end of the week, Fatty Arbuckle was sitting in cell number 12 on Felony Row.
Oh, damn, that
At
was
the
a killer
scene.
party.
Right. At the San Francisco Hall of Justice, held without bail and the slaying of 25-year-old actress named Virginia Rapp.
Oh,
She was tried 3 times because of a deadlock jury, but on the 3rd time he was acquitted of manslaughter. Arbuckle changed his name to William B. Goodrich, or Will Be Good.
Ha. Oh, God.
And worked behind...
Always a clown.
Always a
Yep.
clown. And worked behind the scenes directing films for friends who remained loyal to him. And he barely earned a living in the only business that he knew after that.
That's so messed up.
Well, you killed
I
someone.
want to know more.
Yeah.
There is a lot
Would-
more to the story.
She was murdered, or well, they think. I guess they don't.
From everything that I read, it appeared to be natural causes. But because
He was a clown, and it
Yes.
was weird,
Mhm.
and blah blah blah.
Yeah. So if
Ah.
you read more into it,
Clown
everything,
prejudice.
right. Everything that I got out of it was that he didn't do it. But, for sake of time and whatnot, I didn't put in the whole
That's
story.
so sad if he didn't.
It
That
is.
ruined his $1 million career.
For real. $1 million a year as a clown in 1920s.
And now, the one and only.
The Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Boom.
So the Three Stooges were an American vaudeville. So vaudeville is a theatrical genre of variety entertainment and comedy team active from 1922 until 1970, which surprised me because I didn't think they had gone that long.
Wow, I didn't either. The 70s.
Yep.
Wow.
Remember when we used to watch Nick at Night and all that stuff, and they
Yeah.
were on there?
Yep.
It was all black and white. So in the 70s, there was color. It was just coming
don't
into
know.
color.
I would think so.
But everything we saw was like
Black and white.
black and white. Makes me think 50s.
Yeah, me too. But I'm not exactly sure. So like when it said 1970, I was surprised
Yeah.
that they had gone on that
That is
long.
surprising. Okay.
That's like almost 50 years of clowning around.
Right.
So, best remembered for their 190 short subject films by Columbia Pictures. Their hallmark styles were physical, farce, and slapstick comedy.
And slap each other.
Yep.
Well, there's some good ones on this
There is.
list.
So we have Clarabelle the Clown, who was part of the main cast on the Howdy Doody show, which ran from 1947 to 1960. Clarabelle wore a baggy striped costume, communicated through mime, and honked a horn for yes or no. Clarabelle would also spray fellow cast member Buffalo Bob Smith with seltzer.
Love.
So we have Bozo the Clown.
Woo!
Created for children's entertainment, widely popular in the second half of the 20th century, he was introduced in the United States in 1946 and to television in 1949. Later appearing...
Wow.
I know, isn't that crazy? I was like, nuh-uh.
What the?
But,
So
but
is
the
it-
Bozo that we watched was different than the Bozo that this
Started
is talking
it all.
about.
So remember Bazooka Gum?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember there being like a clown on it, like way a long time
I
ago?
do.
Is that him?
But maybe
because it
it's,
looks like him.
Maybe it's, what do we call those?
Oh, Mandela effect.
Yeah, maybe it's
Mhm.
a Mandela effect. I don't
Is
know.
that
Could be.
real?
I don't know.
Do you
I remember
guys
there
ever-
being a clown on there, though.
Everyone out there in podcast universe, I wonder if do you remember there being a fucking a Bozo the Clown dude on Bazooka Gum? Yes,
I do. I remember, but I don't know if that's a thing. Look it up. Google it. So, later appearing in a franchise television program of which he was the host, where he was portrayed by numerous local performers. So, like, obviously throughout the years, they had changed out who Bozo was.
Yeah.
There's Bozo bubblegum. There's actual gum that's made by Bozo.
That's weird.
But look, that's the gum I remember.
I remember there being a clown on there.
So it's like
it's like the same color as clown.
well, it's like
stuff.
red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
But I thought
No.
I sort of remember.
They're crazy.
Do you remember?
I remember it.
Okay.
So next on the list is Ronald McDonald. I'll go through it and then I'll tell you the awesomeness here.
Mm-hmm.
So Ronald McDonald, the Hamburger Happy Clown, debuted in 1963 on 3 separate local television spots. He was used as the primary mascot of the McDonald's fast food restaurant chain. He inhabits the fictional world of McDonaldland with his friends, Mayor McCheese, the
Grimace.
Hamburglar,
Grimace.
Birdie, the Early Bird, and the Fry Kids.
Yeah.
So fun fact is the guy who originally played Bozo the Clown in like 1946 is attributed to, this guy has come out and said, listen, I helped McDonald's create Ronald McDonald.
I am Ronald McDonald.
Right. So the guy who originally played Bozo the Clown played the very first Ronald McDonald there
That
ever
doesn't
was.
Cool.
surprise me.
No.
I thought that was pretty cool though. I was
It
like,
is cool.
Oh, that's a little fun fact. Vote that ass.
That is a little fun fact.
Vote that ass. I'll say it again. I already paid the piper. So next we have Krusty,
The best one.
Krusty the Clown.
Love him.
So this is actually pretty cool too. I didn't know this. The beloved clown from The Simpsons is known for his raspy voice, inappropriate humor, and goofy laugh. Krusty was originally planned to be Homer Simpson's alter ego. So he wasn't meant to be like...
Well, he looks just like Homer.
He does.
He's like
Right.
exactly Homer, just
Exactly.
different colors.
So meaning that Bart, who doesn't respect his father, would unknowingly worship him when he performed as a clown. Krusty's backstory ended up developing differently, and he is of Jewish descent, and his father is a rabbi who looked down on his choice and profession.
The Simpsons are so effing deep.
They are.
They are.
If you really take a second and like look into their stuff, yeah.
Also, I want Tracy to do her best Krusty laugh.
No, I'm not doing it.
Can I do it?
Yeah, do it.
That's not very good. There we go.
You do it. No, we're done.
Wait, try again.
Try again.
You gotta sound like you're like smoking a lot, and then you.
Well, he smokes. Look at
Yeah,
there's
he
a
does.
sticker on your fridge right
I know.
there of him smoking.
Him smoking. There's Krusty. Looking all crusty
Anyway,
and dusty.
that's not going to make
Look at
the
Bart.
cast.
Maybe it will. Okay, so next we have, and I don't remember this guy, Flunky the Clown
Yes.
on David Letterman.
Yes.
I don't remember him.
Early David Letterman.
Oh, okay. Because we used to
So,
watch it every night,
Every
me
night.
and you.
But it was way before that.
Oh, okay, that's probably why. Okay, so the next one is probably one of my all-time favorite clowns.
Oh, shit. I can't believe that. I forgot all about
We
this
forgot.
clown.
Oh my god.
This is one of the best ones.
Oh, Homie the Clown.
Help me do
So,
Homie.
and every time I talk about Homie, nobody has any idea what I'm talking about. So,
In Living Color, bitch. Homie,
Right.
don't play that.
So, Homie the Clown is a bitter and hostile convict with a never-ending community service sentence. The antisocial Homie is often seen entertaining a group of excited children who all remain his biggest fans, even though he degrades them and thumps them on the head with a sock
Yes.
with tennis balls inside.
Love Homie.
I don't think so. Homie don't play that.
You know, the world needs more Homie the Clown.
They really
It-
do.
they
at this
do.
point.
They really do.
Sounds like my uncle's.
So he was...
So, you know.
Absolutely.
Homie was played by Damon Wayans on In Living
Yep.
Color, and there is a video game.
Ooh.
There's a Homie the Clown video game. I did
Oh
not
my
know that.
God.
Oh,
Yep.
fun.
I was like, I might have to get me one of them.
we, after this, are getting down on
Yeah.
that.
All right, so now we come up to Joseph Bruce, Violent J, the leader of ICP, Insane Clown Posse. Give me your tippy toes.
Fuck your couch.
You can't have
Oh,
my
God.
couch. So then we have Joseph Usler, who is Shaggy Two Dope, DJ for ICP, Juggalos for life.
Oh my god,
Mhm.
Juggalette.
Bitches.
No, okay, so in anticipation for this
Yeah.
podcast tonight, on my way home from work today, I was listening to ICP.
Yes.
And the whole Juggalo thing is like kind of nerdy. Like I'm not about that life.
It's
No.
all the way out there, bro.
But, however, they're not. I was like expecting to, because I haven't listened to it in 20
It's
years.
been, yeah,
I've-
easily.
Yeah. And so I turned it on and I go, you know what? They're actually kind of dope, except for they're really like demeaning to women and all the
Right.
things
Yeah,
that
they are.
we stand for in the world today. But they're not that bad.
No, I mean, we used to rock out in Buddy Dunham's basement, like,
Oh my
All the
god.
time.
That was the days,
Fucking
man.
Buddy.
you
That
could
was
do a
the
whole
days.
podcast episode on ICP.
We
There's
could.
so
We
much. The Juggalo and Juggalette festivals
But
are wild.
I feel like when Eminem came out, everyone picked a side, and I totally picked Eminem.
I totally
Yeah.
picked M's side
How
as
could you
well.
not?
I jumped ship for that
Come
shit.
on.
I did as well, in addition to. So next we have Pennywise.
Ooh, I love Pennywise.
AKA It. I hate Pennywise. He's one of my least favorite clowns.
What? He's so creepy.
He is. He's the creepiest. So he can be anything from a geyser of blood to a werewolf and a giant
Mhm.
spider. But it only makes sense that his most frequent manifestation is a sadistic, claw-slashing freaking clown because I hate clowns. I hate them. I hate them. And I hate Pennywise. He's my least
You know,
favorite.
some people like him.
Ugh. So here's Twisty.
Woo!
So the freaky clown from American Horror Stories freak show. Do you like Twisty?
Oh my god, I love
What's
Twisty.
your favorite part about Twisty?
I think my favorite part about Twisty is like just his origin
and he
story.
doesn't speak.
No,
You know what?
but he can't. He
My favorite part about him is that there's like a little bit of, what's the word?
even in like his most demonic stages, there's still a little bit of life there. And he like, if you really watch American Horror Story, his whole story is just sad. Like,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
What's the word? Like
He's got a little compassion in there
yeah,
too, though.
he has some
because-
empathy.
yeah.
But then
Empathy,
once he
that's the
thinks
word.
like people are trying to escape from him, then he's mad and he wants to kill him.
He's like,
But he does have a little bit. He's like making balloon animals for the people.
he just wants to entertain, and I think like it's a
Well,
prime
'cause deep
example.
down, like that's his like clown persona.
Exactly.
But then he's like, you know what?
No, and deep down,
put aside the fact that he's putting people in cages and
no,
like beating
yeah,
them.
he's
I mean,
fine.
seriously.
The thing like with
He's
him
such a
is
sweetheart.
it's like a clear example of like attachment disorder issues. Everything that he does, it's because he wants someone there.
to love him.
He wants someone to laugh. He wants someone to love him. Like, and just like his whole story when he was working and then the people were shunning him and he was depressed and it just goes on and on. It was like a whole thing. You'll have to watch American Horror Story. If you're
and
not,
if you don't,
then bye.
If you don't even already know who Twisty is, then
we don't want to be your friends.
I don't want to be a
we don't
friend.
want to be a friend.
Yeah, no, Twisty's awesome.
Okay, so the next one is Sweet Tooth, the closest thing to a mascot the Twisted Metal series has, perfectly encapsulating the franchise's dark sense of humor. Tooth, or Marcus Needles Kane, as he's called, is already scary enough for being a murderous clown, but his preferred vehicle of choice is an ice cream truck outfitted for total destruction, so all your clown-fueled nightmares can also ruin your favorite dessert.
Totally badass.
Yeah.
I don't watch it,
It's
but
a video game first.
Well, yeah,
If you
and-
didn't know
yep.
anything about the Twisted Metal video game back in the forever ago.
Yep.
Back in the long, long ago.
The before times.
The before times.
The land
long, long
before
ago.
time.
No,
Then-
my son and my husband are obsessed with Twisted Metal.
Yeah. It's a good show. I mean, it's
So tell
you're
me,
not getting like
Right.
awards for best acting,
No,
but
probably not.
it's definitely fun.
but they're still making it, so
Yeah.
it must be good. Okay, so tell me if you remember Zebo. Do you remember Zebo?
A little bit.
I kind of remember, not really. So Are You Afraid of the Dark is where Zebo
Yes!
came from. So Children of the 90s rejoice. Ghost
Yes,
Town
I'm
Zebo.
rejoicing right now.
Ghost Clown Zebo, a toothy, unholy emulsion of Bozo and Freddy Krueger.
Oh.
So, like, I kind of remember him, but not very well.
A little bit. I remember. Yeah, not much, but a little bit. Yes.
Hey, I don't remember a lot of things. So, up next is probably my favorite clown, Captain Spaulding. I shouldn't have to explain
Ugh,
this guy.
yeah.
House of a Thousand Corpses and the Devil's Rejects. There is another one. I can't remember the name of it. I just watched it the other day. There are clowns that make balloon animals, and then there are clowns who snort cocaine, beat women, and
Mhm.
threaten children.
Yep.
And well,
Yep.
you've found him, Captain.
You done
Spaulding.
found out.
Wow.
He's
She went
great.
there.
He's awesome.
So the
Yep.
Joker, the Joker.
Oh, yes.
is he's
Classic.
been around.
Jack
It's classic.
Nicholson is
Yep.
my
Oh
Heath
yeah,
Ledger.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay,
Love
so
him.
he's been around almost as long
Wait a
as
minute.
Batman.
Wait a minute. Who's the best Joker to you? Did you just say Heath Ledger?
I
Yeah,
love Heath
she did.
Ledger.
But-
Who's your best Joker?
Mine would definitely have to be Jack Nicholson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's
And
like
then like
the,
the Penguin
icon.
Man, Danny DeVito.
Yes,
the Penguin
Danny
Man.
DeVito,
Well,
icon.
we didn't say we were talking about the
Oh,
penguin.
okay.
We
Well,
said
I'm sorry, we were talking
about clowns.
I'm sorry, we were talking about
I just
Batman
love
for
Heath
a second.
Ledger, and then like that movie came out, and then he got the award, and he was already dead. It
And
was
I think it's
depressing.
hilarious that no one said Jared Leto.
Mm-mm.
Okay, here's the thing with Jared Leto. After the allegations came out with him,
Oh,
I'm
Lord
been,
have mercy.
excuse me, I'm a
Kaylee's
little...
like, I'm gonna
Kaylee's
back it up.
soapbox is back. Everybody
Yeah,
get ready.
No, I just,
Well, the
I
Joker
was like, in my so-called life, I've binge watched that show a million times when I was
Girl,
like
so
14.
did I in the 90s.
And I was like in love with Jared Leto. And then I was like, oh, he probably would be in love with me because I'm like a child. So now I'm like, yeah, maybe we won't talk about him. But like when I liked it and then like the allegations came out and I was like still like fucking 17.
Swear jar.
Where's your swear? You swore. You didn't even
You
make
I
it
didn't
in
even
the jar.
make it.
You
You
swore.
guys put it all the way over there.
God.
Good God.
All right.
Okay, so the Joker,
This-
has been around
wait,
for like
sorry.
more than 80 years.
Yeah.
So he's been
Wow.
part of the Batman series. for
Everybody
more than
knows
80
who
years.
the Joker is. If you don't, where the hell have you been your whole life?
They haven't been.
Forever.
Okay, so next up.
This is my
This is Kaylee's jam.
So Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Can we just talk about the video game that just came out?
It just
Oh,
came
they
out.
have a video game?
Yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped for it. It's
Dad
God.
was gonna get it, so just put a little
And you
butter
wanna know
on
something?
that toast and
I
he's
should.
Fucking,
You guys want to know something?
He just needs a
He
nudge.
just needs a nudge, and I can do it. But something that made me crack up is like, so when you're playing this game, you can like design your clowns.
Yeah.
So they put woman clowns in there, and they have water balloons as their boobs.
Oh my
so they're
God.
standing there, and they're like,
So they're like
Fountain
humidity titties.
I saw that shit and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, Lord.
You can't say titties.
Why not?
Why
I'm
not?
pretty sure that's a swear.
Whatever, I'll pay
Breast.
the piper. It's fine. Okay. So,
Sorry.
the killer clowns from outer space. Sure, the stars of this purposefully bad movie are more goofy than scary.
Yes.
If you're made of stone, that is.
That's right.
The sagging smiles and rotten teeth can induce shivers regardless of how cheesy the rest of the movie is. So they wrap dead bodies in cotton candy.
It's like my
cocoons.
favorite.
That's the best part.
It is.
They track prey with a bloodhound made of a balloon. Insert balloon animal noises. Instead of ray guns, they shoot their enemies with popcorn. Popcorn? Why popcorn? Because they're fucking clowns. That's why.
why.
Exactly.
That's why.
That's why.
Okay, so next we have Pogo, who is John Wayne Gacy. We'll
This
talk
man.
We'll talk a
Yeah.
little bit more about it later, but
She's gonna talk about it more.
well, we'll just touch you on it right now. Real life mass murderer John Wayne Gacy validates every fear about clowns. The beloved Chicagoan performed as his alter ego, Pogo the Clown, at children's parties until he was discovered to be a serial killer and rapist who preyed on young boys. I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
The audacity of this clown.
For real.
And we have a really interesting story when we get closer
I
into it. Yeah. I used to like flex this story. It's not a flex. But
Not
I'd be like,
something
this
Kaylee
is
should
like
be flexing
super. I'd always be like, this is like super crazy, you get.
This is like super nice.
Gather in.
All right, so next we
Gather
have
in.
gather round.
Gather.
Gather around.
Sorry.
So next we have Billy the puppet from Saw.
Uh,
Not really a
Okay.
clown,
Yeah,
but like I was
no.
like, I want to put him in here because I like Billy the puppet. He's
Okay.
like one of my favorites.
All right.
So
I'll
he's
allow it.
Billy the puppet is one of her favorites.
I like Billy the puppet. I like the Saw movies. I don't know, they were fun for me.
Only you guys are gonna like be
My
like,
kids like to
"What?"
watch it
but
with
I
me.
only saw the very first one.
Me too.
ever.
What?
I've
There's a
never
new one.
seen any other.
There's a new one coming out.
I'm
I've
good.
never gotten into that one. I've seen every Freddy Krueger you can think
Yes,
of. I've
I
seen
have too.
every Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
I've
Yes,
seen all
me
of them
too.
But Saw just... I watched the first one.
My
I just
kids-
never...
My kids love them.
Yeah.
And so it's funny.
It's a family
fine.
fun-filled
My
event.
very
We
adolescent
really do,
children.
though. We
It's
literally-
fun for all
We
ages.
literally just
No.
sit
We
just
around
get our
and
popcorn
watch.
and just
I
gather
would go
around.
over...
What was that damn that Winnie the Pooh
Damn's
one?
not a swear.
It's not
not
a
a
swear. They allow that on TV.
What's the Winnie the Pooh movie?
Oh my god!
Oh my
I still haven't
God.
seen
Oh my
that
god,
one.
I let my kids watch it.
And it's so funny.
Mistakes were made.
Like, they lost their
Was
shit.
it really bad?
My daughter was like not gonna sleep
What did
by
I make
herself.
your
She had to
kids
sleep-
watch?
She slept on top of me that night.
Oh
I was
my
like, it's a
God.
cheap ass horror film.
It's not even
Right.
good. You're like,
Ass
come
isn't a
on.
swear.
I just paid it twice just in case.
Okay.
Like, I'm
No.
just
You're
like,
covered.
I was
We're
dying. I went over. I used to go to Aunt Tracy's house all the time, and I would we'd make a bed on the floor. The kids loved it, and I'd put on the scariest movies I could
and
find.
they don't even care.
And they just would be like, "Okay, Cobby, can we get popcorn now?" And
Yeah.
like we'd go do it. But
They
like,
don't even care.
I made them sit through all the Grudges, and the whole time they were like,
So we're gonna move on to the clown sightings of 2016.
"Oh my God, do I have some
Do you guys
stories for
remember
y'all?"
this?
I was like losing my shit in middle school because of this.
Let me get through it and then we'll
Okay.
talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
So in early August of 2016, the clown phenomenon began in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Whoop whoop.
I don't know if that's something to whoop whoop about.
Love my.
According to the
Wisconsin.
New York Times, reports of sightings began to surface in Greenville County, South Carolina in late August. In Greenville County, it was rumored that the clowns were attempting to lure children into the woods with money or loitering around. Similarly, a clown was sighted in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, offering treats to children. The clown fled when police arrived. 5 pictures of a creepy clown roaming a vacant parking lot under the bridge in downtown Green Bay at night started going viral on the 1st of August of 2016. A Facebook page was created shortly after, claiming that the clown was named Gags. In the days that followed, the pictures were discovered on numerous news outlets, including Fox News and USA Today. Suspicions of the character being related to a horror film were confirmed when a Wisconsin filmmaker announced that the pictures were a marketing stunt for a then unreleased short film titled Gags.
Oh, I thought this. Okay.
It gets more into, because people just went,
Because remember, it came out.
yes.
Yes.
So that's what I thought it was
Yes.
for.
Originally, I think that that's what, like, the nation as a whole, but because it originated in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is where this dude was from,
Right.
That's how it ultimately started, but it snowballed.
Shit took off. There was
Listen,
people. I'll tell you the story later, but
I never saw gags.
I never did either, but this thing went completely viral. It was even over in the UK and
it
everywhere.
was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. So a feature film was produced based on the short film, and it premiered in 2018. After the Wisconsin incident, numerous other incidents started popping up across the United States at the end of August of 2016. So in early October of 2016, further incidents were reported in Canada, and the first occurrence in the United Kingdom and Australia. British communities were described as horrified, and pressure had been placed on police resources. According to the New York Times, the clown sightings resulted in at least 12 arrests across the United States and 1 death.
Oh my God, someone died?
In Reading, Pennsylvania, a 16-year-old boy was fatally stabbed during an incident that could have been provoked by a prowler wearing a clown mask. The charges related to the sightings, including making false reports, threats, and chasing people. So many people were wearing masks, there was no way to determine who the hell it was.
Yeah.
So throughout this time, internet social media sites received numerous postings related to the phenomenon. The World Clown Association president, Randy Christensen, took a stance against the trend of people dressing as clowns to frighten people. How dare they?
How dare they?
Circuses and other clown-related businesses were affected. In October of 2016, McDonald's decided Ronald McDonald would keep a lower profile as a result of the incident, and that's why you don't see him as much anymore.
You don't.
So several New Zealand shops withdrew clown costumes from their shelves. In the United States, the Eastside Union High School District, the West Milford School District, Ohio School District, and Springboro Community Schools were issued a blanket ban on all clown costumes and clown masks, in addition to previously existing policies and restrictions. So Target also pulled all the clown masks and everything from their website and their stores.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this.
And so did Canadian Tire. I don't know what Canadian Tire is, or
What
what
is
that has to do
Canadian
with
Tire?
or what that has to do with clowns. The village of Memramcook, New Brunswick, asked residents not to dress up as clowns on Halloween. Employees of the theme parks were also instructed to remove any and all horror costumes and makeup before leaving from their job. By October 25th, 2016, several news outlets reported on an alleged clown-initiated purge or attack, which was supposedly going to take place on Halloween Eve of 2016. Mm-hmm. While there were no widespread purge, quote-unquote, attacks as threatened, a family from Florida was attacked on the 31st of October 2016 by a group of approximately 20 people in clown masks and, like, the purge masks also. And no arrests were ever made in that.
Sick.
Wow. Let me just tell you guys. 2016, I was in middle school, 6th or 7th grade. And shout out to Jarrett, my best friend. We both would, like, play on each other's fears a lot. So when this whole clown shit was going on, it was like, oh my God. Like, we were scared walking to school. We were scared waiting at the bus stop. We thought a clown was going to come out.
It didn't help that someone tied red balloons to all the fucking
Yes.
Oh, I forgot
drain
about that.
grates.
No,
here.
and then, on top of that, we had to go to the field one day. All of the classes had to go to the field because we were doing like a kind of like a field day, but it was mostly like we're going to take our class picture.
It was like the end of the year.
Yeah.
You guys were taking your
class picture. So we're at this field and we take this picture, and this picture gets released like 2 days later.
Oh, I forgot
And there's
about this.
a clown in the woods standing there with a balloon in the background. And then Jarrett and I were like, we're never going again. We can't go to school, blah, blah. It was terrifying.
It was
forgot.
terrifying.
I forgot all
Because,
about that.
like, it was getting to the point where just so many random people were doing this, and you had no idea who was doing this. And then there was these incidents of crimes happening and people dressed as clowns.
I'm just getting my quarter now.
So you never knew.
Right. So during all of this, I was over here wishing a motherfucker would. Because I had 2 small kids, and in my mind, if someone was stupid enough to come at me in full clown, especially while my children were present,
Full clown.
I would go full on mama bear.
Oh, man.
Like, people's fear of clowns it's a real thing, and trying to scare people on purpose is all fun and games until they react accordingly and fuck you up. Guess what? I'm paying
Guess
it
what?
again.
Yep.
Do it again.
And then what? It was just a prank isn't gonna cut it at
No.
that point. Like, no.
Well, it was just a punch. I don't know.
Right.
This is an accident.
It was
It was
just
just
a
assault.
really dumb and irresponsible thing to do. And it wasn't just here in America like we had talked about. They were dealing with the same shenanigans across the pond. So why? Why were people so scared? And where does that fear actually come from? Well, there's a few answers to this. We don't really know. So coulrophobia is the fear of clowns. It's widely acknowledged phenomenon. Studies indicate that this fear is present among adults and children in many different cultures, so it's not just ours.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Yeah, so you can never really know what a clown is thinking, and that's thought to be because of the painted on smiles or frowns that they have on their face. So it's something about not being able to read facial expressions.
That's like an evolutionary thing.
No, that definitely is. And I can't remember what we talked about recently, but it's common for humans. Oh, skinwalkers. You can do your own research on skinwalkers, but looking at them, your mind, you can tell when something is not human. So looking at a clown face, you're like, it's not registering.
You
The
can't
expression
tell.
isn't changing.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
So clowns are unpredictable too. So like, they're doing weird things. They're like doing something to make you laugh, and then all of a sudden they pull out a horn and they just like honk it in your face or like spray you with water or something like that.
Something
so
that startles you.
That's also thought to be like a contributing factor as to why people are scared. Like, like a spider all of a sudden jumping at you or something.
Mhm.
Like, that's why some people are scared of spiders. Anyway, so a clown's exaggerated features are disturbing, to say the least. And that's one of the things that gets me the most is like they're painted on makeup.
Yeah, they're a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. So, and movie clowns are absolutely terrifying. So, we got Pennywise. Ew, sick. I can't handle it. Don't like it.
Oh my god.
I can't do it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to creepy, murdery clown shit.
Ooh.
Okay, we all know about John Wayne Gacy. So there are other killer clowns out there, and we'll talk more about him in a minute, but we're going to talk about one sneaky bitch right now. So just after breakfast on a warm May day in 1990, a Chrysler LeBaron
God, you're old. I'm just
Uh,
kidding.
pulled into Marlene Warren's driveway in Wellington, Florida, and a clown emerged from a white convertible. So the clown, dressed in an orange wig with a red bulb nose and a painted-on smile, carried a bouquet of flowers and 2 balloons. One said, "You are the greatest." The clown offered the flowers and balloons to Warren, and then pulled out a gun and shot her in the face.
Okay.
As
What
Warren-
a fucking asshole.
As Warren crumpled to the ground, the clown calmly walked back to the Chrysler convertible, and witnesses said then disappeared for the next 27 years.
It was the Chrysler.
Oh, all right.
Makes
So
you
this
go
is
crazy.
the strangest thing I've ever seen in all my 19 years in law enforcement. Bob Farrell, a Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office spokesman, told reporters at the time. So now authorities say that they have finally apprehended the suspected killer at the center of the bizarre cold case. Sheila Keene Warren, keep that, okay? Remember, the lady's name was Marlene Warren, was arrested at her home in the Appalachian Mountains and charged in Marlene Warren's 1990 shooting. Marlene Warren lived in the ritzy Washington Aero Club in South Florida. Police said Warren's husband owned a car dealership and she managed the couple's rental properties. But Michael Warren had been having an affair with Sheila Keene, a then 27-year-old recent divorcee who repossessed cars for his dealership, according to the Sun Sentinel, which covered details of the sprawling homicide investigation in 1990. Other employees told investigators the pair frequently took long lunches together. He had also started paying her rent. And the newspaper reported at the time investigators looked at both as suspects in Marlene's killing, and the circumstantial evidence piled up. Hours after the killing, workers at a costume shop called police and told them that a woman had bought a clown costume 2 days earlier, then picked Keene out of a photo lineup. The newspaper reported in 1990. So clerks at the Publix grocery store near the home told investigators that Keene bought flowers and balloons 90 minutes before the killings. Even so, the case went cold because investigators didn't have probable cause to make an arrest, which
What do you mean
They're-
probable cause?
all the
They're
probable
having an
cause
affair.
Absolutely, and there's all the probable cause in the world because they're identifying Keene as buying all of these objects that were used. So how is it not probable cause? So
I'm angry.
her son rallied for her. He
Thank God
throughout
for
the
him.
years was like a total whatever in all of this. He constantly was bringing it up and wanting it to be solved. So in 2014, the cold case squad reopened the investigation into Marlene Warren's death, and they hoped advances in DNA analysis and re-interviewing key witnesses would lead to a break in the case. And they learned new detail about Michael Warren and Sheila Keene. They had married each other a dozen years after
Of
Marlene
course.
Warren's killing, and they were operating a restaurant together.
I hope they were so
Tennessee.
angry and hated each other by then. And
Yeah.
they were like,
But so she was arrested, and she's in jail now, and all of that. And she was the clown. Michael was not the clown. I don't really know about like how much
It was
he
probably
had to do with it.
premeditated.
But
For real.
Let's talk about another messed up full-grown man who is really out here wearing a clown costume to get closer to kids. So Klutzo the Clown, a
Ooh.
minister, cop, and youth counselor by the name of Amon Paul.
It's always the youth counselor.
Why, God.
Amon Paul Carlock Jr. entertained kids as a Christian clown, quote unquote, in various Sunday schools and orphanages. He called himself Klutzo the Clown and was arrested on charges of traveling to the Philippines to have sex with kids and bringing back a camera full of child pornography.
Yep, I've heard about him.
Yep, cops busted Carlock in his home in Springfield, Illinois.
Oh,
And didn't it take a while?
God.
Don't they all come from like Illinois, Iowa,
Iowa.
Wisconsin?
Ooh, y'all motherfuckers is
Kansas.
nasty.
BTK was from Kansas. I mean, so anyways, feds found Carlock's camera and laptop full of photos of children playing, showering, and sitting clothed, but with their genitals exposed.
What the fuck, dude?
He was sent to jail, but was tasered to death by a guard in his jail
Thank
cell
Good.
while awaiting trial.
You know
Justice for this guard.
Yeah, there's a whole thing on it. So if you want to look it up, Klutzo the Clown, there's a whole story on it, and his family is actively fighting. They're trying to be compensated for their loved one dying in jail because
No,
Okay.
he deserves every fucking thing he got, and he
Yep.
probably deserves more
And-
than that.
and,
I don't even
you know-
give a shit if I said the swear word.
we all
As we say, cut their balls off.
we all can agree on that. However, they have been compensated
Are you serious?
because he was because he wasn't convicted, and he was, it was a guard that killed him. So unfortunately,
Yeah, and he's a fucking hero.
And if it wasn't a guard, it was going to be another cellmate. So
hey, I agree. So this next one is said to be more of an urban legend or a myth, but we're going to talk about it regardless. So the rumor goes that a young teen was babysitting for some wealthy parents in California.
It always goes this
Mhm.
way.
They gave her free reign of the household, but requested that she watch TV in the far room as to not wake the children. She did his ass, but got gradually more and more creeped out by the life-size clown doll in the corner of the room. Hours went by, and the vacant gaze of the clown doll became too much for her to bear. So she called the kid's mother, asking if she could watch TV in another room, explaining that their giant clown doll was scaring her. And the mother gasped and stuttered, "Get the kids out of the house. We don't own a life-size clown doll."
Life
Oh
size. So this was like a clown.
God.
So, and it isn't just a...
You wonder why we hate clowns. You wonder why we hate them.
That's right. So in the early 90s, Frederick Zazaby, his clown name was Zazaby, and then the Zazaby was his last name. So he's a Czechoslovakian clown. Well, you know.
He's going to do us dirty.
Yeah, he is, unfortunately.
God
I am
damn
also
it.
Czechoslovakian, so this...
Yeah.
This is going to be...
I was going to say, oh, Czechoslovakian. Oh, so am I.
He's got to be okay.
He
No.
moved to Liverpool. He tragically committed suicide, but his ghost remained behind to haunt unsuspecting children. According to reports, in December of 2002, 13-year-old Thomas and his 10-year-old brother were sleeping in the very same room where Zazaby had killed himself. Awoken by devilish laughter, the boy's eyes fixated towards the corner of the room and caught a sight of a ghostly apparition wearing a cone-shaped hat, maroon suit accessorized with a large red-painted nose and white makeup on his face. He was described with dark sockets for eyes, like that of a skull that was surrounded by a green aura.
Oh.
The ghost was laughing hysterically with one hand on his belly and the other pointing at the horrified kids. The room filled with a stench of embalming fluid. The boys ran from their room to call for their parents, and the adults went to inspect, but they found nothing. However, according to the children's parents, they still could smell the essence of embalming fluid.
Ew.
Oh my
Sick.
God.
Yep. And finally, we have John
The
Wayne
one and
Gacy,
only.
a.k.a. Pogo the Clown. You know, the guy that originally gave the party clowns a bad name. In case you've been living under a rock, Gacy killed over 33 young men, burying most of them under a crawl space in his home. Interestingly enough, the mystery didn't end with his capture and his then execution in 1994. Raffle Tover, a Des Plaines detective, claimed that he once asked Gacy about the whereabouts of his other victims. "That's for you guys to find out," was Gacy's answer. Another detective also discovered that Gacy traveled to 15 to 20 different states in the 1970s.
I did not know that.
So this information opened up the possibility that there might be other bodies buried somewhere else other than,
Absolutely.
and they've never been found.
For real. And, Mom, would you like to share the story
I did go to high school with a guy, who used to tell us the story of, he had said, my uncle used to talk about almost getting murdered by John Wayne Gacy. And we were like, yeah, man, yeah, sure, whatever. You know, like, we were all like, yeah.
Yeah, that's
we
cool.
We all know someone who knows someone, you know.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, then years later here, and this was really not that long ago. It's been within the last 5 years. Me and my husband, we watch every true crime documentary ever known that comes out.
Me too.
And there was a recent John Wayne Gacy one that came out, and there was a ID that came on the screen
because John Wayne Gacy would take IDs of those who he wanted to kill
before he killed them.
Yes.
Allegedly.
I
don't know. So there was this guy's ID with the same last name as our friend. So I paused it, and I said, he used to tell us this story.
He wasn't lying.
All the time. And we were like, yeah, sure, man, yeah. And then here's this
the ID.
Here's this ID that says his last name. So I took a screenshot of it, or a picture of it, and I sent it to him. And he was like, first of all, he was like, who is this?
It's been years.
I haven't talked to him in 100 years. And then he goes, yeah, man.
I told you.
I told you that. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, just checking.
Well, thanks for that.
And that was the conversation. But, you know, it's kind of...
It's wild. It's
crazy.
Just like,
well, it's, you know, it's technically local to us where we were at the time.
At the time, yeah. And it's just... It kind of blew my mind because I'm a bit of a serial killer freak, fanatic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I am too.
I have my favorites. John Wayne Gacy isn't one of them, but...
No, he's not one of mine either.
I do know a lot about him.
His story is very interesting, and I think, like, when that Nickelodeon stuff came out, if you guys watched the documentaries about that, the fact, I believe, allegedly, that Dan Schneider was getting pictures, or was it the other producer? One of the producers was getting pictures that John Wayne Gacy was drawing in jail.
Yeah, because he did art late in life before he...
And then that producer was a child molester.
Weird.
So,
they're all fucking child molesters. I'll pay the fucking pot for that shit because guess what?
Fuck them. We get a free one for that.
They're all fucking losers. I haven't said that at all this fucking podcast.
But they are.
Fucking losers.
Fucking losers. Okay, so we're going to end with some clown facts. Some of these we may have touched on already, but we're going to talk about it some more. The first fictional killer clown was in 1892. So the first killer clown to appear on stage was in an opera titled Pagliacci.
I think it's close.
The Italian word for Pagliacci means clown, and the opera tells the tale of a love affair. This love affair and betrayal led to the character dressed as the clown to stab the lover.
Mm-hmm.
He stabs his lover?
It's some Romeo and Juliet shit.
What an asshole.
It's shit, I swear.
No.
Oh, God. So there is an International Clowns Week. Did you know this? Did you hear about this? Have you heard about this?
Jesus,
I haven't heard about this.
Can't.
International Clown Week was passed in U.S. law by President Richard fucking Nixon.
Of course.
He's a
Biggest
fucking
clown of them all.
douchebag.
He was the original ICP member.
On October 2nd of 1971. It is celebrated every year in the first week of August. With the concept of celebrating, informing, and promoting the clown industry, because why does Richard Nixon care?
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He
He's
doesn't.
just trying to be like, I am not a crook.
He's probably taking heat off of something else that was going on.
Wow.
In 1967, the Clown Club of America encouraged its members to write Congress to make the week official because they're fucking losers and fucking, I hate clowns. I hate clowns so fucking much.
Because of Sideshow Bob, this one time ever, no.
It's just so, like, what
because
the
clowns
hell?
are creepy, okay? Okay,
It's
so,
not
like,
only
here's
that.
my thing. Here's my thing. Like, okay, I hate Pennywise. Pennywise freaks me out. There used to be another movie, but I couldn't really find it. The Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, remember that one? Or The Terrifier. Have you seen that one?
Oh, let me put you all on. All right, so The Terrifier. This movie you will not want to watch. Trust. It creeped me out.
This
and I watch
has a
horror.
lot of, like, sharp features.
That's the thing.
He's a sharp featured
And-
face, like sharp nose.
yes.
Sharp chin.
And I was wondering if,
Sharp
like,
teeth.
I'm sure it has to be a phobia, but, like, I get really creeped out by that. Like, witches who have, like, the sharp features. I don't know what it is about sharp features, but I'm always like,
That's real sharp.
you're really creeping me out. But the Terrifier, it's like everything that you are scared of a clown doing, it does. I think, like, something about Terrifier, too, if you guys ever watch the movie, is, like, there's no backstory. He just is who he is.
Just appears.
Well, I hope you know Terrifier 3 is origin story.
Yes. I
Get
hope.
ready, bitches.
Terrifier 2 was really good, but nothing compares to that first movie. It's fucked up.
So, clowns are not everyone's cup of tea, but even those who don't like them have to admit that they have a fascinating history. People who hide behind clown face to do fucked up shit are lower than low, in my opinion. And don't ever come near me dressed as a clown for your own safety.
All right, before we get into the end here, Mom and I have a present for you
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
that we forgot all about.
I asked about this present earlier.
I tried to
We
wrap
have
it
a
the best that I
present here
could.
in this really cute Christmas wrapping paper.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is this a clown plate?
No, it doesn't look like a fucking plate.
Really just
I know
feel
what it
it.
is. I already know what it is.
Just open it then.
It's a doll that we used to have back in the day, isn't it?
Open it.
Just
is.
open it.
It is. She's exactly who I knew she was. Listen, I had this doll. So we're going to take pictures of this and we'll put it on
Yes.
Facebook and Instagram. This doll
Tell me if she's not a jester.
is a jester, okay? But the thing about this doll is that I was obsessed with this doll.
Yes,
when I
you
was
were.
little. And I loved her. And you know what? I kind of still love her, even though
good
she's...
because she's yours and she needs to go to your house.
Yeah.
So I love her little high heels.
Oh my
They're like my
God.
favorite part. And her hands. They're like one of my favorite parts.
Everything's porcelain on
Yes.
this thing.
Yes, and like I said, we'll take pictures and we'll put it up so that you guys can see this.
But for as
jester-esque-
much as Tracy hates
Okay, so
Mhm.
let's just touch
clowns.
on this. So my mother decided one time that she was going to buy me a clown plate. Me and my sister were like, no, well, more like I was like, I'm not fucking dealing with this. And my sister was like,
let's break it.
she was gassing me up, man.
Yeah,
she
she
was
was.
like,
Don't
yeah.
tell Weaver that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's really mad that we broke that plate. That was a nice
I'm
plate.
sure Mom was too. But I broke that shit. I broke it right in my sister's driveway.
I threw it to the ground.
I was so pissed. I was so mad. I was angry. Listen, my whole family knows how I feel about clowns, and they know that I fucking hate them, okay? I'm just gonna put, like, a bunch of quarters in the pot. Because, and what do? They make sure that clowns are put into everything that we do as a family unit. So anytime we have,
That's not true.
that is so fucking true.
It's a little true,
You're-
but not completely true.
So anyways, this is like 3 Christmases ago. So we do this family thing every year at Christmas where we buy a bunch of shit and then we take turns. We go from youngest to oldest who picks out presents
Random
and
shit.
whatever. So I have all my presents.
I forgot about this.
And I get home and it's like probably a week or 2 later I'm going through these bags of stuff from Christmas and there's a fucking clown
Yeah.
in my
We were
bag.
meant to have that.
Yeah.
And I was really fucking
It
angry.
chose you.
No, it didn't choose me.
You were the chosen
So
one.
I think the first person I blamed was my mother, right? So
As
I,
you should.
I jump on the old book of faces
Yes.
and
The
I
book of
start
faces.
accusing the shit out of my mother for putting a clown in my bag, right? Wasn't her.
Publicly.
Allegedly.
So then I'm like, I'm blaming everyone, right? I'm blaming my brother, my aunt, my niece, my brother-in-law, everybody I can blame, right? Who's the one person I don't blame? Because I even blamed my husband at one point. Who's the one
It
person
was
I don't
probably
blame?
him.
Well, she's speaking to you.
Yeah.
The only person
She didn't suspect a thing.
She let everyone
I
take the
didn't.
fall.
She put this goddamn clown in my bag.
This never happened. This
And-
is alleged.
No, it did because I got her to admit it. She said
The only person that did it is the only one you haven't blamed yet.
and literally she was literally the only
Dying
person
like she
I
is right now.
blamed yet. So she put a fucking clown in my bag, bro. Like who
Listen,
does that?
I was egged on by people for reasons.
and she was teeheeing like a son of a bitch.
I was totally teeing.
She was like, "What did your aunt say to you today about the clown?" I'm like, "Oh my god, Mom. Thank you. You're ruining my
Did you see it?
relationship."
Oh my god.
No, fuck clowns, bro.
Okay, I put it in there.
So I want to thank these ladies that sit beside me for the lovely conversation today. And I want to thank all of you who tuned in. We appreciate you. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if there's something specific you would like to hear about in the future, go to our website at thepoisonteaparty.com and send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. You know, not just what you want to hear about in the future, but we would love feedback. So until next time, my minions, keep it classy, keep those pinkies up, and don't forget to keep that clown shit to a minimum.
For real.
I am Tracy Assy, and you have been poisoned.